parents didn't necessarily eat the best of diets. We didn't know that much about the nutritional aspect. Now, my mother had various health issues, but she lived to be 97, nearly 98, and my dad almost made 89. So longevity runs in the family. Now,
Yes.
they didn't face the same challenges I did because
Lived a different life than you.
I don't even like to think about the details of that, Lubie, but straight out of the Colombian jungles, man, I used to get this crap. I remember throwing these parties. No one would ever leave. That was the thing. If you were providing the blow, you would have people at your house, and you were already passed out after a 2-day binge, and they were still there at the table. Going, hey, you loving this crap? What the hell was I thinking, too? I mean, I was really just starting out here in Miami. I remember a few times going to work thinking, I'm fine. I interviewed Pat Riley, coked out of my mind one day. I'm not sure that the conversation went as smoothly as I normally would have anticipated.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
I think Oscar's doing a lot below Oscar De La Hoya. That could be. You're watching some of these stuff, some of these interviews. I mean, his eyeballs are as dilated, his pupils as you could possibly get. Welcome to the show. You say that's the last day of that clip, Libby. You're going to bag it after today?
No, I love it. I know it's definitely pushing it. I just think it's classic how open and honest you are about that era of South Florida.
People were doing it. I mean, the people that were around understand of when I speak. Know of what I speak. It was crazy. It was just absolutely insane. I mean, there were shootouts on the turnpike. I guess that's come back in vogue.
Still happens, happens.
It was really Billy Corbin City, man. I mean, he depicted it about as well as you could in Cocaine Cowboys. But anyway, we're peeling ourselves off the mat after a great weekend. I really enjoyed this weekend, mostly because I spent it almost entirely at a racetrack, which was great.
Nice.
A lot of fun. Saratoga was okay. There's always other stuff, ancillary stuff that you can bet on there. All of a sudden, when you're going screen to screen, it's like, what by 2 minutes? Let's go. Ellis Park. I know nothing about Ellis Park except that it's in Kentucky. What would I know? It's not even in the racing form, I don't think. All right, but all of a sudden you see, okay, let me do this right off the board. You're betting all kinds of crazy configurations. Saw Andy out there on Saturday, and he was having a good time, so that was really nice. I don't know what you got involved in over the weekend. It was, again, feel like I'm walking on the sun.
Yes.
Excruciating and incredible heat. Is it even worth mentioning to anybody? Man, it's hot outside. You're in Florida, for God's sake.
Man.
What are you expecting in the middle of July, people? It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Actually, I think we've had less rain, although these storms have been coming in. You're out west there, Lubie, where there's a dark cloud hovering over your head at all times, it seems.
This weekend, we finally got some rain. We hadn't the last 2 weekends. The weekday, we used to get rain by this time of the year every day, where now it's been relegated to just the weekends.
Yeah.
But it did give a little bit of a reprieve from the heat. It wasn't as bad during and after the rains. Now, I'm sure today it'll be humid as hell again. And hot as hell.
Outside. I was on my walk of life, man. I see. I dig it. Everybody looks at you. I'm completely schwitzed through my shirt, which is not uncommon. I mean, that could happen to me even on this show. But you're drenched and you're coming back. You're in the final stages, getting near the house there, and somebody inevitably will say, "Man, it's hot. Are you okay?" Like, no, I'm fine because I already can feel the cap coming off of that first Budweiser. Aluminum cans is now my thing, Lubie. I don't know if you ever got the aluminum bottles. I guess they are. All cans are aluminum, but Budweiser in aluminum bottles seems to be my new drink of choice. Especially since it was on sale, although still at rip-off high tariff prices, I think. Are we importing Budweiser now? How is that working? Because looks like it was impacted by tariffs. I want to blame Trump for it.
No idea.
Anyway, good to be with you guys. Hope you had a great weekend. A lot of stuff on the sporting scene. Wimbledon, we were talking a lot about that because I'm a big tennis fan, and it was fascinating. The tournament was great. Got the dream matchup everybody was looking for, the repeat there in the men's final of Carlos Alcaraz, 22 years old, 5 majors. And going in, Yannick Sinner, 23 years old, with 3 majors he had going in, 3 slams, and he won his 4th. Kind of mowed down Alcaraz you can't say routine fashion because nothing is routine with these guys. Alcaraz wins the first set 6-4, and then a trio of 6-4 sets taken by Yannick Sinner. So he wins his fourth slam. He wins his first Wimbledon. Alcaraz had been the two-time defending champion, so that was no small accomplishment. Wasn't as spectacular a match or as dramatic a match as their contest in the French Open for the championship, but nonetheless, I mean, high quality stuff. You couldn't knock it. My friend Mike Jones was sending me text saying, "Well, you haven't really seen a lot of sensational points yet." And no sooner had he said that, this was sort of late in the first set. They were just exchanging holds of serve. And late in the first set, all of a sudden, boom! I mean, the fireworks started. Actually, I guess Alcaraz was he broken in the first game? Yeah, there were a few breaks in the first set. What am I talking about? What was I watching? I didn't see it all. I left after it was 1-1 in sets, and I was thinking Sinner's probably going to win it, and he did. So congratulations in order there. That's a great rivalry. How many times will we see it? There was a stat I want to quote, Lubie, but there's a certain level of uncertainty as to what exactly it was. It seems unfathomable that this was like the first Wimbledon, I believe, the first Wimbledon final in some ridiculous long time. Like, I don't know, could it be 15 years, maybe longer? That didn't involve one of the big four. The most recent configuration of a big four, which of course was Federer, Nadal, Joker, and Andy Murray. So, is this the first time in whenever that they didn't have one of those guys in the final? Djokovic did make the semifinals, and he got taken out in kind of routine fashion. Oh, nice rebound by Sinner, though. Talk about a reversal of form. You think he's on the juice, Lubie? What happened there?
It is funny that you were
He's
worried about
knocked out,
losing the tournament, and he won the next two matches strongly.
Put precision. I mean, just unbelievable play. This guy's great. Not that you need me to tell you that, because he is sitting there at number one in the world. Alcaraz didn't seem to be as razor sharp as he sometimes is, and didn't seem to. I mean, it was great the way they both approached it coming in. Sinner is on a court by himself out in some remote region of London that you couldn't even find with a compass. And he's warming up there. And Alcaraz is like on center court with a crowd of thousands watching him, signing autographs, partying, really living it up as the championship caliber player he is. That's the way he rolls. And a razor thin margin between the two. I don't know that you could sit there and go, oh, well, this guy blew it or whatever. But razor thin margins there. And that figures to be a rivalry for a long time. The women's side, wow, what a bust that turned out to be, huh? Did you catch any of that? Because you would have had to look quickly. It was like Tyson Michael Spinks, where my friend went to the bathroom, and when he came back, the fight was over. What happened? Look, you had to know that this wasn't going to last long if you saw the stain in Michael Spinks' pants when they were doing the stare down before the fight. And Michael Spinks was a pretty good guy. I mean, well, he's still around, Michael Spinks. He's, what, how many Spinks are still living? Leon's gone. Corey Spinks is still around. I believe he's the son of Leon. He was a world champion. And Michael Spinks, I don't know what he's doing today, but he seemed to be. I mean, when you look at the Mayweather family, there was one normal Mayweather. Jeff Mayweather was a trainer. I don't know if I would assume that he boxed at some point in time. I don't remember him as a boxer, but I do remember, and I met him a few times as a trainer. And he was like the normal daughter in the Addams family.
Yeah.
You're thinking, here's the most dysfunctional. Could we qualify the Mayweathers? So who would be the most dysfunctional family in sports history, Lubie? Can you think of any other candidates that would rival the Mayweathers?
I mean, there's a bunch, but I would definitely put them up there, top five.
The Balls wouldn't qualify anymore because we haven't seen. What happened to the father?
Well, when his kids stopped mattering, he stopped like there's only so much a guy can rant and rave when his kids are barely playing. Like
LaMelo's injured all the time, but he's a good player.
LaMelo's hurt all the time.
Lonzo's always hurt. Just
Lonzo's
team, yeah.
Always hurt, and then the other one's not even in a league of any kind. So he's like trying to rap or something. I mean, so he sort of went away into obscurity where he belonged because his kids were not carrying the banner the way he had hoped.
Who would qualify, though? I mean, I'm not talking about where there was parental abuse or something like that. Mary Pierce story was always very sad. Remember the French tennis player, Mary Pierce, who I think she won one slam, and was up there, highly regarded for a long time. That wasn't a big winner, but nonetheless, was there in an era where there were very prominent women players, Martina, Chris Everett, that sort of period of time, and so that was bad. Her father was in a very abusive sort. Who else? Just where the whole family is
See,
is
that's the
all
thing.
nutbags. Can we think of anybody besides the Mayweathers?
Like in sports, it's mostly the father's a loon and the
Yeah.
way that he pushed the kids, whether it's Tiger's dad or Richard Williams or
Oh yeah,
Capriati's father. But usually the mom is actually like the sensible one. Like the Mayweathers, I don't know about any female influences, but like it's six, like the uncle's crazy and the dad's crazy, and then
Oh,
there's the cousin who's crazy. Like it's the whole family is literally crazy. Like I don't know Favre's family. Like that's what I'm like. I don't know
I
many
put
other
up the farm family. Don't know much about them.
It's just Favre. The
Yeah,
wife
Favre's
probably knows
crazy.
not horrendous.
Yeah.
He is a horrible human being. Like
Same thing like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's estranged from his family, but
yeah,
the family seems to be normal.
he's
Maybe there's
weird. Yeah,
something
that's the thing.
screw loose there in his head. I'm not sure.
There's a lot of like parental weirdness in sports, but actual families like that. The Mayweather one stands a lot, like the Jackson, but it's like again, that's not sports. Like
Yeah.
in the sporting world, actual crazy families. I mean,
I'm going to give it to the Mayweathers. Yeah, a runaway.
There's like another world because they
Oh, yeah.
get away with it. They were the Jokic brothers are weird, so that's at least maybe a family. I would presume their parents aren't the most normal if those kids are what those kids are. Like the fact that he's enamored with horses more than playing basketball, which is paying him hundreds of millions of dollars, and then his brothers look like they just came out of a UFC match with like heroin.
They look like gang members in a Ray Donovan episode, don't they? Where
yes,
gang members he's got to go against. Yeah, they look like they just got away from the table there with orders to kill.
So they might be close. That is
anyway, the women's match there at Wimbledon. What a dud it turned out to be. 6-0, 6-0, bagel and cream cheese, my friend. Unbelievable. Your girl Swiatek, who I mean, the bets you don't make, Lubie. I'm looking going into the semi. She, I believe, was 4-1 to win the whole thing. I don't know what she was before the tournament, but it had to be substantially more than that. I didn't think she would win the tournament going in, but when she got to the semis, she was kind of mowing down the competition with very swift and precise play. She was just blowing through everybody and didn't seem to be threatened. We know that Sabalenka, as great as she is capable of melting down and falling apart, although I don't think she fell apart against Anisimova in the semifinals. That was a hell of a match. But how do you go from that, Lubie? You talk about bouncing in horse racing, where a horse runs a giant number, has a buyer figure in excess of 100, runs a big race, wins by 5. And your natural temptation when you're looking at the racing forum or any sports handicapping, now that everybody's sports handicapping, Lubie, is to look at the last game, the last result, and think that that's going to be easily repeated. And often it's not, because you do have the bounce factor where somebody will have a great effort and then turn right back around and throw in a stinker. I don't think that was ever more in evidence than Anisimova in that semifinal. She just wasn't there. I don't know if Swiatek was so amazing, but and notice we've modified our pronunciation of the Shvi, because I believe it is Swiatek. I'm going to go with that permanently. Sorry, Leslie Visser. Once again, our apologies. We hate to go against her. But I think that would be the accepted pronunciation. Why doesn't somebody just ask her how she pronounces her name, Lubie, at some point? Wouldn't that be the appropriate thing? Is your name on the Epstein list? I mean, it's not that question. It's just, hey, how the hell do you say your name?
I presume the people calling matches who seem to call her the same name every time are doing that for a reason. Like they have looked into how to call her name. Usually play-by-play people are very good about, unless years later someone's like, actually, this is how I want it pronounced. Okay, well,
it was Tony Dorsett.
Yes, exactly. Until then, this is how her name's been pronounced forever. I mean, I don't watch a lot of tennis, but I've heard her name said, and it's Swiatek.
Are you hearing Swiatek? Okay.
Yeah, that's how
did we ever figure out how to pronounce Tua's last name? What is it? Is it Tagovailoa?
Yeah, silent
Is that correct, or has that just been accepted because everybody blows it? What do you think?
I mean, I think that's the name. It doesn't matter.
Remember when Lee Steinberg came over and gave us some bizarre pronunciation of the name? You think
No.
Lee was having an alcoholic relapse? I would hate to think that.
Oh, no.
Whatever he told us to call him wasn't even close to what anybody's called him ever since, right? And he was his agent, for God's sake. So he should know. Anyway, felt badly for Anisimova. I mean, you talk about the wrong time to just completely crap out. Had nothing. I mean, absolutely offered zero resistance in this match, and the zero would be an appropriate big fat round number because nobody gets double bageled. I guess that's the third time it's happened in the championship round where there was a double bagel. One was going back to like 1911, and Steffi Graf may have double bageled somebody en route to one of her Wimbledon championships. So that was very deflating, Lubie. I was thinking, wow, I'm really looking forward to this, and I'd love to see. It would have been the third straight tournament where a different American woman had won a slam. Because you had Madison Keys surprisingly beat Sabalenka in the finals at the Australian Open. You had Coco Sita did real well and won the French.
Yeah.
And also over Sabalenka, who bowed out in the semifinals. So, and that was a bloodbath, that matchup between Amanda Anisimova and Sabalenka, Arena Sabalenka. Great women's tennis. I mean, the highest of levels. And unfortunately, she had nothing. I mean, it was weird, right? You're wondering. I thought of Segredo at that time and his big in the moment theory. And you're wondering, how is this woman going to handle this? And she didn't handle it well. She said she was out of gas, though, before she even stepped into the arena, that the toll of the 6 matches previously, and certainly she could have every reason to have been exhausted after that Sabalenka match. But that took place, on Thursday? So she had a day to rest. Have you ever seen anybody go into, I mean, without an injury of any type, no speculation that there was something wrong with her? I don't know. You probably didn't see this, but you couldn't have been any more flat than she was. And the results, so would be emblematic of that. All right, a bunch of other stuff, Lubie. You have, what, is tonight the Home Run Derby?
Oh,
In Major
geez.
League Baseball? Is that it? It's the All Star break, isn't it? Am I wrong about this? I want to say yes to that. And I did my little study of the standings here. You know, I like to throw in the standings here on the show. Major League Baseball, just in case anybody's following it. Guy at the bar yesterday asked me, "Hey, can you name 2 players on every major league team?"
Oh, God, no.
I had to immediately say no. Then I would struggle with many 2 players. Can you imagine it? Can't name 2 players.
I
You
used
know
to be
the
able
whole
to name,
roster of every team, right? Knew
I
the farm.
used to, I would say until about 10 years ago, I could name majority of rosters, at least 5 to 10 players on every team. I couldn't tell you 2 on you get to like the Royals, the
I don't
Rockies.
even know if I could name you 2 Marlins. I guess I could. Yeah.
I can do 2. I can do a few Marlins now. They've been good, so I've actually someone paid attention.
7
But
games under 500, a remarkable first half.
that's actually good. I mean, that's actually that's from where they were.
It's been less embarrassing than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be dreadful. They won 11-1 yesterday. But tonight would be the Home Run Derby then, wouldn't it? Because I was watching on ESPN, believe it or not, I think they had a 2-hour. And you talk about a lackluster lineup. I mean, the only guy that you would probably be interested in seeing, I know there's a bunch of hard-hitting young bats in there that we should take notice of. But I'm not sure that I'm into that in this kind of competition, since this really is it not, Lubie? This is the centerpiece of the All Star game. The game itself.
Or was it's
I
hard
used to love it. It was so. I mean, it was so boring. I left early. I mean, we had tickets to the All Star game here at Lone Shark Park.
Mhm.
Sitting in the stands, seats weren't terrible. I mean, you're talking about the best major leaguers all assembled on one field, and the game itself was just. I don't know. What would it take to spark up these All Star games? What do you think?
I have no idea, because every time they try to do something like that, they end up bastardizing it. So I've almost just accepted that these All-Star games are not going to be fun.
What happened there?
I don't know. Players used to take it somewhat serious. Players knew how to take it serious enough to make it interesting without hurting themselves, and fans appreciated that. And then players started making really insane amounts of money. And between the players and the organizations, they're like, do we want you taking this serious? Like, do we care if you take this serious?
Interleague play, I mean, the proliferation of interleague play kind of takes some of the buzz out of the All-Star game. I mean, it used to be great to anticipate, hey, wow, I can't wait to see the Mick get against like Bob Gibson or something, right? You want to see these American leaguers performing against National League players. Now you see it all the time. I don't know that sort of dilute the interest in the All Star game? It just seems like, and look, I've been a baseball fan since my earliest cognizant memories. I absolutely loved the game. I loved everything about it. The smell of the mitt there, and stadium, atmospheres, and everything about it. Like the rappers flying around. Um, we did that poetic thing every spring training, Lubie. I'm sorry, I apologize to you, and I probably
One.
had a lot to do with whatever psychological damage you suffered during our radio days by reciting my Casey at the Bat poem, whatever that was. What was I thinking? That's what I was doing the DeForest Files. So that involved like a little bit of old school newspaper writing technique there, trying to bring it across as some kind of audio track. And I thought they were pretty good. I don't know, but that one was particularly lame. It was really. I mean, was it that we were writing it in the car on the way to the remote? I mean, what
You
was the
probably
problem?
were. I know it's fine. It's just funny. It was very
The smell of the
schmaltzy.
grass, all of this bullshit. Yeah,
That's not really your thing. It was just funny for you to be schmaltzy. That's not your thing. It was fine. Like if someone like it was very
Fox and Cracker
Costas.
Jack.
Like Costas, I could see even our boy Ronaldo. Like it just wasn't
Rinaldi. It was Rinaldi. Yeah.
Sagredo, but it wasn't DeForest. That was why I made funny. It wasn't you.
No, it was a big departure. I guess I was trying to be serious about something. It's probably a mistake. I mean, why is it that all clowns want to be taken seriously?
Like, exactly.
Isn't that amazing?
It's true.
Everybody that tries to be a comedian and they're upset that you didn't take their opinion seriously. It's like all you've been doing is cracking freaking jokes. Since you got on there.
Exactly.
Everything you say is a joke. You're a joke.
Honestly,
You can hear it, right? Anyway, so I don't think. Look, I don't have much interest. I don't know how much of the All Star game I'll watch. I would imagine if I'm home, it's probably the most. I would have to say would be the most significant piece of television that would be on that night in terms of sports activity. The home run derby, though, wow. I mean, I'm not infatuated with this at all. I guess going there might be entertaining. Watching it on TV. The Josh Hamilton thing was fantastic. There've been many great moments in the home run derby, but they were mostly, again, using the word diluted by the concept of the way this thing is contested. Hamilton didn't even win that year, did he?
no,
He had
no.
like 90 home runs, and then by the time he got to the last round, he was completely out of gas, hit like 3 homers, and lost the contest.
Yep.
That's a good trivia question. Who beat Josh Hamilton that year that he had like 300 home runs in the home run derby? And that was before. Yeah, I mean, I used to dig. This is how much of a baseball fan I was. I don't even know if they let you in anymore during batting practice. Do they? I think the Marlins had a policy where you couldn't get in till like a half hour before the game. Is that true? Is that still in place? Because that was one of the great things where you would go watch batting practice. In fact, the best of it was when the Marlins played at Hard Rock Stadium. And you could just go up in the left field stands there. And I remember walking away with like 20 baseballs one time. The big cat, Andres Galarraga, was taking batting practice. My son and I went up there. He literally hit like 20 into the second deck. And there was nobody else there.
That's
Of course,
great.
there was nobody else there when the game started either. But so if you hit a home run there in a legitimate aspect of the game, you could have just walked up there. That's weird. That's when you know your team is not really drawing any kind of interest when you have time to take 2 escalators up to the deck where the ball is rolling around. And
It's still there.
nobody. Hey, look at that home run ball. I got it.
No.
All right, so where are we at with baseball at this point, Lubie? You got you have a good race going in the East, NL East. Phillies
Yes.
and the Mets. The Marlins,
That's
surprisingly, 10.5 out. Now, normally that would not discount them from having any shot whatsoever, and yet I'm looking at these projections, and it says like 72 games. How is this possible?
Well, again, it's front or back, however loaded it is from playing poorly all of April, May, and half of June. Because it's really only been the last month they played like this. Is it even a month? Is it 2-3 weeks? Like they played a certain way for a very long time, and then the last 3 weeks to a month, if you want to give them that, because it's 7 series. Is it 7 series?
They've been good. Yeah, I mean, considering they have nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Look, they're turning into what you'd want out of what Peter Bendix has done.
Yeah,
They got rid of everyone of any value.
out the door.
They went very low cost. They got big time prospects from other franchises that those other franchises may be sort of regretting giving up. And you're seeing some of those guys already doing things like, again, Stowers, 3 homers yesterday. Augustin Ramirez, that people love and they want them to sign to a 10-year deal already. The pitchers that have sort of been pretty interesting. Cabrera, who supposedly has another nagging injury, because that's Cabrera, but he should be okay because of the All Star break. Like with Mayer, and Yuri Perez is looking like the guy we saw 2 years ago. Like, these are the kind of things you want out of sucking. Like, that's why when other franchises do it, it's not the end of the world, because you see a glimpse and then they slowly build around it and then they become a contender. But the problem is we've seen the Marlins do this like 5 times now, and you don't ever see that. The only time we've seen anything like this, they went and got rid of all those guys. So it's hard to believe it if you're a Marlin fan, but as people who have given Bendix a lot of crap, I'll give him credit that at least you're seeing it. At least this is what year 2 of Bendix, the Bendix disaster. Like, at least in year 2, the first half of the season, you're seeing things we really haven't seen when the Marlins have done this before.
Signs of life is the way they used to designate it in the racing form. I always mention that. The horse that was picked for last might have beaten one horse in his previous race. First time he was ever not in last place in 16 past performances. And the comment would be signs of life. You're like, okay, what kind of sign is that? And think about this. I mean, Sandy Alcantara is supposed to be your ace. He's having a lousy year. It's unfortunate because he's one of those guys that's easy to root for. He won the Cy Young a couple of years ago. Tommy John usually is not a devastating career blow. It can be, but for the most part, we've seen people very successful in coming back from Tommy John surgery, including Ohtani, who is now throwing 3 scoreless innings in what this had to be his 3rd start. And so he's been effective coming off the Tommy John. We've seen many guys actually get better after Tommy John surgery. We mentioned John Smoltz. What was a good pitcher before? He has a Tommy John. All of a sudden, he's lights out, velocity sensation. And a closer. So not devastating, but you would think too, I mean, if this guy really was back in his ace form, wouldn't that be an incredible thing to have a guy like that everybody respects leading your pitching staff? You would have to think from a heat culture type of standpoint that would have a positive impact on the rest of the pitchers on the staff, no? Knowing that, and then, ease the mindset of some of the hitters and the manager and the coaching staff that every time we send Alcantara out there, we've got a big chance to win, as opposed to the exact opposite. So with him having a lousy season, I mean, it's a little bit even more remarkable, I think, that they've been okay. But I don't know that that's the greatest story that's going on in Major League Baseball. I mean, it's nice that it's not a total embarrassment. I guess that's the way I would look at it from the standpoint of the local fans. Central Detroit, can Detroit go on and win it all, Lubie? I mean,
I don't know. It's crazy that they're good.
No one talks about it.
It's crazy they're good. They had been down for a while, and just out of nowhere they're sort of kicking ass. I don't know.
No, I mean, they're up 11.5 and looking like they're going to run away with the Central. Best record in baseball. Houston, surprisingly, how are they doing it? We never talk. I mean, they were always going to be clouded in disgrace after the sign stealing incident. The whole idea that they were cheating, and Altuve's wearing a wire as he's crossing home plate, and you're thinking, what the hell is this? Carlos Beltran is, beating the drums, those garbage can lids, like he was Tito Puente Jr. In the dugout, and people despise them because nobody really likes cheats. That's, I mean, when you look at sport, Lance Armstrong did. He's sort of making a comeback as a public figure. Have you noticed that, Lance Armstrong?
Oh no, I haven't. That would be
annoying. Do you find? I mean, and he's not a stupid person by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, he knows what he's talking about, and he's articulate enough and extremely opinionated. You would think he'd be a great commentator, but has he somehow escaped the disgrace that eventually surrounded his career to the point where you actually want to hear from this guy? What do you think, Lubie? Have you seen? You haven't seen much. For some reason, he keeps popping up on my social media saying stuff about a variety of different things. Not the least, I guess, is the Tour de France, which I think is underway now. No.
I haven't seen him. It is going on now. I haven't seen him at all in over 10 years. So if he makes a resurgence, I don't know. I mean, the sliminess that he exuded, it's hard to overcome. Like the fact
And he was an asshole about it on top of that.
in the aftermath when he was caught, he tried to bring everyone down around
I mean, he could have cared less about anybody else. That poor UPS driver loses his job. I mean, it's just insane. But nobody likes to cheat. But yet, I mean, are the Astros not past that? I don't think they've been. There've been any assertions that they're still doing this kind of stuff. I don't know what else. Was it the worst thing that you could possibly do? Sign stealing in sports. How do you feel about that, Louis?
Oh, it's annoying. I know it's a part of the game that you just deal with, I guess, but it annoys me. Like I've always been like, just play the game.
I guess if you're using means like they were, where they're electronically using like surveillance cameras,
They were like full on, like.
but if you're just stealing signs, isn't that part of it? I don't know. I mean, the whole thing with Michigan, does that seem a little overblown? That was always a big deal. Oh, well, we can't have anybody spying on our practices. Are people doing anything? I mean, you've been to practices, NFL practices, college practices.
Nothing.
What's happening there that you could look at and go, oh my God, can you believe it? They're going to do the fumble rooski.
Well, Perk just said that. I mean, maybe the team ones, like when they do the team practices, but you're then practicing against another team. So, like, if you're giving anything away, you're giving it to another team.
They're
like,
right there with you. Sure.
I don't know. I believe we used to go regularly, and I never got anything out of practice. Like I never.
Well, it was fun. I mean, you know, if you enjoyed that kind of thing, I just anytime I enjoyed playing ball, so I didn't mind going to any practices. But I don't really recall anything that should have been so secretive being executed in a practice where if somebody happened to catch it, I mean, what a trick play is. Well, did you see what they're working on there? The double reverse. I don't know. I mean, I remember when I first started covering sports for the Fontana Herald News, this was the biggest deal because they had a coach. His name was Dick Pruitt. And he had just taken over from like some salty dog guy that had been at Fontana High School for like 30 years. And so he was relatively new, but he operated under a shadow of unscrupulousness because he had been caught spying on a practice when he was at another school. What the hell could you have seen? I mean, I don't know. If you were going to a St. Thomas Aquinas practice, do you think you would be able to determine anything more than the fact that, holy crap, where did they get all these guys?
Yeah, exactly. You can decide whatever you want. If they have bigger, better players, who cares that you know what the
I mean, is George Smith, when he was a coach there, I guess he's still the athletic director. He may be anyway, legendary local high school guy. I mean, is he unveiling something in practice that nobody should be able to see? I just never saw all of that. So anyway, all of that is attached to the Houston Astros and is a blot on their credibility as a franchise. But I think you have to give it to them, Lubie. They've lost a lot of guys that were part of that core that was winning year after year after year, and they're still right there. They're banging it out to the tune of, I believe they're up 5 and a hook in the AL West over the Seattle Mariners, who are having a decent year with that Cal Raleigh guy who leads the league in home runs and will be. Is he the lone attraction in tonight's home run derby? I don't know much about him. I've seen this guy on a couple of highlights, and that's it. What do you think?
It's only because of this year, because I had never heard of his name before. But this year, he's literally setting a record pace for home runs.
Yeah,
in an era where we assume you're not using steroids, which
no Aaron Judge in this thing.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, but
no Juan Soto.
There's no one.
It's nobody, right?
There's no one consequence.
We are looking at a bunch of guys. I mean, literally Bob Dylan time, complete unknowns for the most part.
Yep.
Heard a little bit about a couple of guys. Guys are in the home run derby that had like 15 home runs. It's crazy. Yeah, lackluster. What do you think? How much attention will people be paying to that? Will they still watch it because there's just nothing else on? This is one of those. I mean, it doesn't happen anymore because the WNBA has capitalized on this opportunity. But remember when there was always Black Wednesday, and that was the day where there were no significant sporting events taking place after the All Star game on a Tuesday night. So that's happening in baseball. The Western, the National League, just that one tight race working. And the American League, and the Dodgers, I don't know, up 5.5, 6 on their nearest pursuers there, the
They
Padres.
haven't even played well too. So you would think at some point the Dodgers will start playing good baseball. They've sort of played with their food the first half of the season, and
They had that stint, 32 games. They were 16 and 16.
the Giants and
And they
the
lost 6 in a row, right?
Padres to linger. But now you have Ohtani back in full force, and he can be either your ace or your number 2. So a rotation that was okay. Now it gets bolstered a great deal. And again, for them to play the way they played and still be up almost 6 games is sort of scary. At some point, they're going to play really good ball. So it's like that division sort of feels over before it even began.
Shows you what speculation too is, because remember, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, I was looking at what managers are on the hot seat because we were thinking it was Aaron Boone and his picture was right there, of course. Alex Cora's name was mentioned. Boston Red Sox. They've won 10 in a row. They're only 3 back now.
They're
1 back the Yankees and 3 back at Toronto in the AL East. So
Yes.
that was another significant development there. Brian should be happy about that. I did watch a few minutes of the baseball draft. I have no idea who any of these players are. You sometimes have familiarity. Because I did watch quite a few games in the College Baseball World Series. I don't recall anybody that stood out so much that you were thinking, like Paul Skeens when he was with LSU. You thought, wow, this guy's going to be the number 1 pick and he'll be in the big leagues like next year. You're wondering what he was even doing in college. It's always interesting to me, too, to see high school players get drafted because you talk about an inexact science. How would you know that these high school players, in the NBA, I guess you have more of an inclination, but we've seen it more often than not where these guys are drafted in the first round out of high school and never raise a gallop as major leaguers, including, do you remember, I think this was the first ever, was it the first ever baseball free agent draft for the Marlins that they took a guy named Jaime Jones? Is that possible?
I don't know.
Jones was a high school player out of San Diego, California.
Yeah, you always talk about him. I don't remember him at all.
I want to say that was the first time. I know they had the expansion draft, and a lot of people think that was their first draft pick, but it was not. The expansion draft was major league players being dispersed, and they took Nigel Wilson, who did nothing.
Yes. Nigel Wilson was, I remember him he was a big deal. He was supposed to be great. They had a lot.
Yeah. I remember being, they had, kind of a press gathering there at the stadium when they were making this announcement as they were drafting these guys, and a bunch of reporters there that really hadn't covered a lot of baseball. There were some very good ones. Gordon Eads was one of the original guys, came down here to cover the Marlins, I believe, in their flagship season, but our first season. But everybody was like, whoa, man, this guy's going to be great. Well, we knew nothing about him, and I don't think he did anything as a member of the Marlins organization, and I don't think he ever surfaced and accomplished much in terms of professional baseball acumen anywhere else. So that was weird. But we took a kid here with the 7th pick, Louie. Interesting, though. I mean, how would you feel if you were a college player and you saw some high school guys drafted ahead of you? And you were like a factor in college baseball where maybe you would hit like 360 with a bunch of homers and you're watching some shortstop from Utah get taken ahead of you in the draft. What do you think, Lubie?
It'd be tough. I mean, especially since the college baseball is so much more prevalent than it once was. And people, I don't know if people know the names very well, but the College World Series has become a bigger deal. And you see guys shine to see high school kids do, like a high school kid getting drafted over a guy 3 years older.
Yeah, it's weird.
But look, it was happening in the NBA before they made that rule. Drafts are largely on potential. Like you don't want to get what you think is a finished product, even if it's great, because you're like, okay, his greatness is only this much. We want to know that he can get to another level. But my problem is you said, like, the high school guys, it's rare that they turn into anything. Look, if it's a Bryce Harper who's graduating early and like his junior year going to JUCO and he's freaking tearing up JUCO, yeah, I can see drafting that guy out of high school. Like, that would be stupid not to. But otherwise, a lot of the time, they're not that far different from the college guys, and they're so far removed from being ready that most of the time you never see those guys you never hear those names again. A lot of the times with the high school.
I mean, they're popping zits before the prom. I mean,
they're not.
what they're more concerned about. I'm sure, there'd be some good players that came out of it, but I would have no idea. I mean, I'm watching this, and they had 5 guys analyzing it, and I have no idea who the hell got picked there. What the hell's going to happen?
I know I've still had a few guys that were really good, so that's the only reason I know that Jamie Arnold, their ace, went top 12, and he could have possibly gone top 5. Other than that, the baseball drafts, I've never had any idea.
I mean, that's as wide open a crapshoot as you can get. Brian mentions the hockey players. We talked about that. Everybody's like 13 that gets drafted. Looks like the names on the Epstein list, although male. My God. What's up with that, by the way? Are we ever going to see that? I did watch. We'll take a quick time out. We got to get some words in for our long and faithful sponsors here on the program, and then we'll come back because I have some observations. Again, we have some golf that's in the news, and also your favorite subject. I watched a little Heat NBA Summer League action last night, Lubie. And speaking of draft picks, Kasparis Giacosionis.
Giacosionis, yeah.
What the hell? I mean, he had a big game his first game. Then he goes into the tank, goes 1 for 15 across 3 games. Looks like he can't shoot a lick. And my observation, I'm pretty quick on these things. It's probably a very, very premature evaluation, but I think this guy's shot sucks.
Well, and then he played Atlanta and was 4 for 4.
Yeah.
In the first half from 3. And then yesterday went back to being non-existent. Yeah, I think he's 19. I'm not going to put much on him. The only time I give a crap about summer league is a guy like Ware. If you're in your second year doing summer league, you should just wreck it. You should annihilate.
He looks okay. The summer league looks a lot. It really does look like YMCA basketball.
Yes.
I can still envision myself hoping that Tommy Chong was out there picking on a fast break of Cheech and Chong fame. Because it's crazy, and then there's not a lot of teamwork. Is this because everybody wants to show that they're NBA caliber? So, can you do that if you're just passing the ball off all the time? If you don't know that you've already made the team and made a name and established yourself? Spoelstra looked like he was watching, maybe a Pauly Shore movie or something. He looked completely detached from what the hell was going on there and thinking, wow, who put this piece of crap together? I don't even know if I want to break down the film. It really did. It looked like a game you would see if you went to LA Fitness and you were in a pickup full court game. It kind of had all of the indications that this was not necessarily the highest level of organized basketball. All right, we're going to come back with more in a moment. You got the Open now, the British Open, formerly, but now just known as the Open in golf. We have to pick a winner there, Lubie, and we're going to try and zero in on that a little bit. I did have an indicator, a nice little prelude with the Scottish Open, which was won by this guy that should be a porn star, no? Chris Gotterup.
Gotterup.
How many times have you said that, right? After long foreplay, and you're thinking, I don't know, this blue pill isn't kicking. Oh, got her up.
I got her up.
Let's go, kid. Going to the post. Matt Fitzpatrick and Justin Rose were right in there. This guy finishes up, I think, 15 under to win. And McIlroy was a couple back. Scheffler not eliminated, 9 under in the tournament. You're getting 38-1 on Fitzpatrick if you want to go with a guy, nondescript European schmink.
That's not bad.
To win the Open, 38-1. But I have a couple of 110-1 shots that I might want to put a couple of bucks on, which is naturally self-sabotage and to separate themselves from the money. Don't go back again. You just won a couple of days in a row. Don't go back. Don't go back. I had that evil consciousness wrestling match going on yesterday, or conscious wrestling match, where one voice is saying, you had a lot of fun there the last couple of days. Why don't you go back? And the other side of me is saying, go to the beach. What's wrong with you? Do something different with your life. All right, back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
He's a rambling man. 8:52.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously. Friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist extraordinaire, with us here on 940 Wins, 1230 The Zone, and around the world on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you do a lot of podcasting, and you're very diverse in the things that you cover, including one with basketball star Kyrie Irving. You know, we picture Kyrie Irving lighting incense and chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. What was it like? I mean, the conversation with Kyrie Irving, especially in matters of astronomy.
Here's the thing with Kyrie Irving. So as you may know, and of course, if you knew that much about him, you would know that for a while there, he was a big fan of the flat earth. And so my response to that is, by the way, we care about Kyrie Irving because he's good at basketball. So people say, oh, you should not talk about a flat earth. And I'm saying, I don't care if Kyrie Irving wants a flat earth. He's a basketball player. There's plenty of jobs you can have in this world while you think Earth is flat. Just don't let the head of NASA be among them, right? Just you live in a free country. You should be able to say what you want. And so I wasn't as distracted as other people were. I don't get my science from Kyrie Irving, and I'm not going to get basketball lessons from the head of NASA, period. So that's how I look at it.
From South Florida to the entire world, thank you to the iHeartRadio app. Here is Defo, joined by Lubie, on The Defo Show.
It is surprising that Kyrie Irving, given the conditions and the qualifications that were needed to be in high positions and important positions in the current administration, that he is not the head of NASA.
Well, they just fired 20,000 people, so or 2,000, whatever it was. So Kyrie may be getting a call soon.
Shouldn't Kyrie Irving be leading our space program? I mean, if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. could be the guru of health.
Yes.
Not exactly C. Everett Koop, this guy. I would have to say that. All right, welcome back to the show. Good to have you guys with us. We only have a few minutes left after our 50-minute opening conversation with you guys here. We didn't really cover a lot of. And now, how are you pronouncing this kid's name? Jakasionis?
Hakachonis is how.
Hakachonis
is how it seemed like they were pronouncing it when I've watched the summer league so far.
That sounds like something that would happen at a P. Diddy party, doesn't it? They were doing Hakachonis. Oh my God, these disgusting pigs. The hell are we talking about here? All right, I don't know if this is a fair way to judge a basketball player, Louis, but this is what I look at. All right, the play has stopped.
Okay.
There's a whistle, and you've got the ball, and you're at one of your favorite spots to take a three-point shot. So you just go ahead and hoist one up there.
You have to, yeah.
It should be somewhere near the basket when you do that, no?
I mean, sometimes they just flail it in the air, and it does.
I'm watching this guy. I don't know. I mean, I know, and I've missed the performances where he was very good. I guess there've been two of those, correct?
I saw one and two bad is what I've seen.
Okay, because the three games that he played, what was this? In the California Classic, they were calling this, were horrendous. I mean, he was a bricklaying turnover machine. He
had two bad or three bad in California, and then he had the one good game versus Atlanta and Vegas, and then was it Vegas yesterday? Yesterday's Vegas game was average to non-existent as well. So
this thing was a ragtag performance. I've come to the conclusion that you have to be flat out of your mind if you're betting this crap. And while we are forming some conclusions based on what we've seen,
I don't know.
It's probably a giant mistake to assume that there's anything of any great significance going on in these games. Now, from the standpoint of coaches assessing whether or not they have talent, are 90% of those guys just not going to sniff the NBA? Is that the way?
Of summer league? That's the problem for the young guys is as much better than a lot of the players they are. It's 19-year-olds. Some of these guys have have been in summer league for like 4 or 5 years. So
yeah,
against like guys that are like 23, 24, like
they're professional summer league guys.
and you have a 19-year-old. Well, and they probably play G League and they play internationally, so they've been playing professional ball a long time. I know he played for Real Madrid when he was in his teenage years, and that's why he was highly coveted going into college last year, because he hung with the adults. It's what gave Luka a lot of credit, because Luka would win like MVPs as like a 16-year-old,
9-year-old, sure.
But like when you're playing against people who are playing for their lives and are like 5-6 years older than you and have put on a lot more size, like that's my problem. Like for a guy, especially the first year, Ware played a whole season with the Heat. Ware showed a lot of promise second half. So I expect more out of him in a summer league, and that's why.
But when you think that he might be on cruise control, they already know. It's the old thing. Hey, we know what this guy can do. We're just running him out there, getting him a little work, trying to work on a couple of specific things, maybe. Because didn't he average like double digits in points? And
when he played starters minutes, he actually averaged like 9 and 7. When he played starters minutes, he averaged like 11 and 10 or something like that, which was fine for a guy who was like the 4th guy on the team.
Sure.
5th guy on the team. So the problem for him is that he were very open and they were expecting to see things from him in summer league. Like he wasn't like a Bam or a hero that by year 2, you knew you were going to help me. They were going to be a building block piece. Like he's a guy that they've liked his promise, and they weren't putting him in trades because of that, only because they were hoping to see him grow
in this setup. He had a nice block in the game last night. The limited time.
He played better yesterday. Spoelstra called him out after, was it Friday's game?
Oh, he said he was jaking it a little bit?
He said he wasn't being professional, whatever the hell that means.
Oh, that's not good.
Meaning probably what you're thinking is, yeah, he's waiting for the regular season. They're like, no, dude, we want to see you take this seriously.
You get good now.
Yeah.
All right.
So again, the 19-year-old rookies to me are hard to gauge, like in this setting. It's just
I won't label this guy a bricklayer yet.
Yeah, we'll see. Look, I'm not saying
I was hoping to be impressed. See, I'm rooting for
to
get it together here and actually become more of a factor. And the East is wide open, as we know. All right, my 2 long shots so far for the Open.
Yes,
would be Nikolai Hogard.
I don't even know that name.
Which is Hojgaard, 110-1. He was a factor in the Scottish Open, so don't overlook the Hogard, man.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm going to come back with this guy, Maverick McNeely.
Okay.
He wasn't too far out of it. I believe he had a win early in the season on the PGA Tour, sort of like one of these emerging young players. And he's 110-1 also. So taking a shot there. And Jim Sarney would say that we didn't know what we were doing here if we didn't mention that Grace Kim won the Avion, whatever it is, championship.
Oh, good.
Is one of 10 majors that the women contest. Every tournament is a major on the women. I don't know how many texts this guy sent me. Oh, you're ignoring this. How could you not be watching this? It's because nobody's watching it, Jim. You and no other people are concerned about that. It's a shame, too, right? I mean, the game just doesn't ignite any kind of a spark. The women's tennis is sensational. Is that just because I like tennis? No.
No. I mean,
the play is amazing. Now, these women may be amazing golfers, but it doesn't seem to move anybody as a television entity. Is that a fair statement? You look at the crowds, there's like 3 people there. They got that same little Korean lady that Tiger's caddy, Steve Williams, used to conk over the head with a pitching wedge every time she took a picture and said, Tiger, we love you. Tiger, we love you. All right, a lot of fun being with you guys today. I don't know that we accomplished anything serious. Do you have a pick? Or you're going? We can't pick Cal Raleigh to win the home run derby, can we? Of course, that guy's going to bomb out.
Oh yeah,
isn't that typical? So who wins? I don't know. Who else is in it? Jazz Chisholm. How about Jazz Chisholm at like 20-1? You believe that Jazz Chisholm is in the home run derby? That's not like putting Spud Webb in the slam dunk. It was amazing that a guy 5'4" could dunk like that, but. Jazz Chisholm, does he strike you as a home run derby contender? Jazz Chisholm. Seems ridiculous.
No. He's had more pops.
Put every shortstop in there. I mean, we're not talking Ernie Banks and Ripken Jr. here.
No, he's not A-Rod. He's had more pops since he's gone to New York because that stadium's a lot easier to hit home runs out of.
Nice cheap 297-foot.
Cavernous.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's a home. I mean, he's not.
Hardly a home run. I mean,
Yeah.
the kind of guy that you're thinking, wow, I can't wait till he steps in the cage. It's not like he's Ken Griffey Jr. Nothing against Jazz Chisholm. Was an entertaining player, probably overrated from productivity standpoint compared to the amount of attention that he got. Showed flashes here and there, but essentially it was what, 260, 17 home run guy?
Yeah.
That, with a modest number of runs batted in and occasionally a liability in the field. So for all of the flash and the dash, wasn't he on the cover of the Major League Baseball video game, Jazz Chisholm?
Yeah, when he was young. After he had had some decent moments for the Marlins. Then next year it was him because they put out multiple covers. He was one of the up and coming stars of baseball. Yes.
Brian contends, wow, if we wanted to go typical sports talk topical material here, he contends that golf is a game, not a sport.
Whatever. I don't get into those. Because again, they call drag racing and car racing a sport. I mean, humans in a car.
Poker's on ESPN, for God's sake.
I mean, I've stopped fighting.
Cornhole may not be a sport.
Calls cheerleading, athleticism, and sport. So what am I? I'm not gonna.
Is pickleball a sport? Pickleball.
Well, too many people play it now for me to trash it. People love, and it's not just for old people. Young people love.
No, the young people are out
weird.
there. Why is that?
Go play tennis. You're young. You're like 24. Go play tennis.
I mean, when you look at the dynamics in a tennis match, I mean, obviously the highest level would be Alcaraz and
yeah. But even for fun.
You look at what these guys are doing from an athletic standpoint, and you compare that to watching pickleball. It's two different things. There's really not that. The comparison will be what, that you're hitting a ball over a net into a confined area, and you've got to hit it on one bounce. So other than that, there's little to compare. It's kind of like you're standing up on a ping pong table. No, now I understand it takes fast reaction and this and that, but you're not watching guys running like 10 yards and then boom, hitting some kind of 90-mile-an-hour forehand up the line. I mean, it's nothing like that. All right, there you go. We trashed pickleball. I have nothing against it. People that think that because you say something like that, look, I'm happy people are out there playing.
Yeah. Look, it's better to do something than nothing. Yeah. But
and if you like the game, great. It doesn't do it for me.
It's just very.
It's stupid. A little plastic ball. Remember when you used to play with a little plastic ball?
It's just not a lot to it.
Get out of here.
Like, I feel like I get more exercise when I walk my dog. And again, we stop. It's not like we're just constantly walking. He's a dog. And I still feel like I get more of a, like when I watch them playing pickleball, I'm like, they're not even moving.
No. One guy gets out of the way and they better, because otherwise you're getting hit in the ass with a racket. Incredible. A paddle. Whatever. All right, we're going to get out of here. I'm sorry we didn't accomplish anything for you today, but we'll try it again tomorrow. That's the beauty of this job, is we get to redeem ourselves tomorrow. The Redeem team will be in tomorrow.
Exactly.
Just of Lubie and me. And we'll see you then. Thanks so much for being with us. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. See you next time as we leave you on that.
The time.
It's 9:05.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.